Rise and shine, Hoosiers. Welcome back to the Bloomington Breakfast Club. I'm Lydia Knoll.
And I'm Gabrielle Valenson. Grab your cup of coffee and get your week started off right with all of the latest and greatest updates on campus news, sports culture, and entertainment.
Plus, don't miss our special guests from the Indiana Memorial Union Board later on in the show.
It's going to be a good morning. Stay tuned.
Football season is nearing the end, with the Big Ten Championship just less than 1 month away. This past weekend, Indiana faced off against another top 10 opponent, the Wisconsin Badgers, at home. While a home game obviously draws a lot of media attention, the tailgates draw the fans' attention. Alumni, students, parents, friends, second cousins twice removed, whoever, can be found just outside Memorial Stadium on game days. This season, a new set of rules were imposed to improve student safety and encourage family-friendly tailgating at all home games. The fields across from Memorial, located between Woodlawn and Indiana Avenue, are now open to the public. Where the Greek life tents once stood, now cookouts, family dogs, and SUVs take over. According to IU Athletics' fan sportsmanship policy, Indiana is committed to creating a safe, civil, comfortable, and enjoyable game day experience for all student athletes, fans, coaches, officials, and visitors. Only one more chance to tailgate at Memorial remains this season. The last home game is November 18th against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Now let's hear what Gabby has for us in the news.
Yes, something big happened in student media this week. Have you noticed that the Indiana Daily Student is now being sent to your inbox? Well, that isn't the only change that the IDS has seen over the past week. Just last Thursday, Editor-in-Chief of the IDS, Jamie Zega, informed readers of the economic struggles and financial issues that the publication has been facing. This is largely due to having editorial independence. But the IDS prides itself on 150 years of independent journalism. Newsroom advisor and director of student media, Ron Johnson, took 10% pay cut so the IDS could have more money to work with. He then saw that this was not enough, so he announced that he would be resigning starting January 1st, 2018. Johnson's salary is largely paid for by the IDS, so he chose to resign in hopes that it would help the Daily Student's funds. A few days ago, Media School Dean James Shanahan abruptly asked Johnson to resign a month earlier than expected, on December 1st. Shanahan said this decision was, quote, really based out of financial consideration here, end quote. 2 years ago, Johnson saw these financial losses coming and suggested to Shanahan that they cut production to twice a week. But that was Shanahan's first semester as dean, and he didn't see Johnson's warning as something to worry about. Now, nearly 4 semesters later, an interim director will be replacing Johnson. Shanahan says he wants student input, despite that the professional and student staff were not informed about hiring an interim director. Zega continued in her letter from the editor that, quote, without consultation from students, any decision made regarding the Indiana Daily Student would be far overreaching the bounds of our freedom from administrative oversight, end quote. Zega goes on to discuss how much the IDS needs the support from its readers during this important time in order for the publication to stay independent. She ends her letter with, quote, we exist as a news organization to serve you, our readers, and we will always continue to do so, end quote. Show your support of the IDS and independent journalism as a whole by using the hashtag 150more and donating on the IDS's website. It is time for our unnecessary updates of the day. And last week we had so much fun with Avery, so we thought we would have him back this morning. So, guys, I want to first discuss, I think this is huge.
It is.
The Biebs and Selena Gomez are hanging again.
I know.
I mean,
saw.
I want to know.
Right after, I would just like to make a mention.
Yeah.
This was right after the Weeknd blocks her on all his social media.
Right.
Literally the next day, you see her with Justin Bieber.
So
Just
what's
throwing it out there.
what's going on? How do you feel about this?
I appreciate the relationship because it's so high school. It's not very mature at all. It's very messy.
It's
and it's
true.
very silly.
Fair.
It is. It's messy, and yeah, but it's just. I mean, these pictures of them riding bikes and being happy, and it made me happy.
Oh, Justin Bieber's a changed man.
Right. All of a sudden now he's changed. Maybe she sees that he's grown up.
Maybe.
Yes.
Let's hope.
Let's hope.
Wish the best for them.
Exactly.
In other relationship news, Carlos Correa's World Series proposal.
Lyd, tell us about that. This is your thing.
Have you seen it? This
I
was
have.
so my thing. I saw it and was like, oh, I was obsessed with it a little bit. But if you haven't seen, Astros player Carlos Correa proposes to his girlfriend after they win the World Series. So they win,
That's
he pulls out
huge.
his ring and he says, it's been a great day, a huge day for me, but I'm about to take another big step, and proposes right there on live TV. It was very cute.
No. I'm a man of principle, and one of my principles is that you don't do public
Okay, that's
wedding
okay,
proposals.
that's fair.
Because could she have really said no in that moment? Could she really? Is that really
True.
an option to say no
true.
at the World Series to the hometown hero Carlos Correa? No, you can't do it.
No.
It's
Well,
not fair.
I was going to ask you how you feel about public proposals because I knew you had like
Always no.
an opinion.
It's never
that.
justified. It's always a bad idea.
Okay.
Never do it.
Okay.
I remember when a man proposed at the Boston Red Sox game, and the girl did say no, and the entire crowd started laughing at him. This can't work out for you. Just don't bother.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Take advice from Aves.
Always listen to me.
Oh,
Or
yes.
be very confident in your relationship.
Exactly. Okay, Halloween was this past weekend. Celeb couples, cute costumes. I mean, you had Tom Brady and Giselle as avocado toast, which was
That's
one of my
hilarious.
personal favorites. You had Khloe Kardashian, Tristan Thompson, Game of Thrones characters, Chrissy Teigen, John Legend. They were the Copacabana couple. I mean, there were so many cute costumes. Who was your favorite? Did you see
I'll just say
anything?
the avocado toast. I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but that was surprisingly clever for
Same,
him.
I know. I can't, I'm Indianapolis Colts person, so I can't like Tom Brady, but at the same time, I have to have respect for an avocado toast.
Of course.
So,
Avo's so good.
next up, Time just came out with their most influential teens list of 2017. Some of these people were Shawn Mendes, you had Willow Smith, you had Khalid, you had Ella Fanning,
Yeah.
who I feel like we haven't heard very much of lately,
Yeah.
but made this influential list because she's clearly still impacting people. Brooklyn Beckham,
That's
all
so good.
kinds of
Kaya
awesome teen
Gerber.
people. Yeah.
That's so great.
As young as 13 years old made
Yeah.
this list, which is just blows my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing at 13, but not doing that.
I like that Time does that.
No,
That they,
I think that's
you know,
very
they
cool.
do the influential teens list.
Yeah,
That's true.
because it's a whole different demographic that they're targeting than your 20s and 30s, you
Right.
know? It's a
Right.
very different crowd, and they still have an impact on it.
Exactly. I like that. Babes, what's up with you?
Well, I don't know if you heard, but they're officially doing a live-action reboot of The Lion King coming out in 2019, and they have released a
way.
casting
I'm
list.
so excited. I saw
and
it yesterday.
they are involving Beyonce, Donald Glover, Jide Ojapor, John Oliver, and Seth Rogen.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is the first I'm
it's
hearing.
gonna be great.
This is the first I'm hearing. And I don't know if you understand, but I love Lion King. I'm a huge fan. I love lions. It's just they're my spirit animal. The music. I mean, it was my first Broadway show I saw. Just it's the best. So that's exciting. When is that set to come out?
2019.
Okay.
I'm excited. It'll
Good
be
to
very
look out for.
Yes, I agree.
Exactly.
Now that we've done the unnecessary update, Avery's going to enlighten us on his A-list. Avery, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Reality television is not a respected medium. Despite the immense popularity and longevity of the genre, you'll win no one's respect or admiration by admitting you've watched all the Shahs of Sunset or remember every plot point on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. But America's mad dash to dump reality television into the waste bin of pop culture ephemera, I feel that we as a people are leaving a large aspect of modern culture unexamined. Silly as it may seem, I think there are things that can be learned by examining the structure and ongoing popularity of reality television. For example, few shows have as accurately portrayed the difficulties of forming a meaningful relationship than the Bachelor franchise. The Bachelor, for the uninformed, is a simple series. At the beginning of every season, 30 women compete to win the heart of one man. And whoever wins will marry the Bachelor. The Bachelor has been criticized for many things over the years. A consistent complaint is the artificiality of the show, which is a fair criticism. The Bachelor is an incredibly superficial show, but I don't think it's any more synthetic than the dating experiences of us regular folk, especially in the digital age. Sure, we don't get trapped in a mansion for 3 months. We have the power to pick and choose which suitors we interact with at will. Bumble, Grindr, and Tinder have given us the ability to reject one another based on nothing but a single picture. At least the Bachelor has the decency to talk to all the girls before he starts the elimination process. Another complaint against The Bachelor is the arbitrary rules. Every episode features the contestants going through a series of nonsensical mini-games. Whoever wins these games is rewarded with more time alone with The Bachelor. But I'd argue that the silly games played on The Bachelor are just exaggerated versions of the games we all play during the dating process. The boy has to be the one to ask the girl out. You have to wait 2 days before texting or else you're desperate. And then there's the endless argument of who pays for dinner. All these rules are silly and artificial and don't hold up under any scrutiny. But years of conditioning have led us to accept them whole cloth. But the ultimate complaint lobbed against The Bachelor, the most, is that the relationships don't last. To be fair, plenty of couples from the show split a year or so after the show. But I find it odd that people would question the validity of these relationships just because they end. Relationships, molded by a game show or not, end. The person one loves at first is not the person one loves at last, after all. But frankly, this criticism is the one I respect the least. It's an argument so misguided that shows a fundamental misunderstanding of love and relationships in general. Because love is not a conclusion. Just because two people said "I do" does not mean they're not invulnerable to all the pressure and strains of the world. A relationship is a continual process through which one person attempts to understand another. A process that is maintained moment by moment and day by day by the will and the intelligence of the heart. And unfortunately, it's a process that often ends in disappointment. Anyone who's ever been in a relationship can tell you that. So before you criticize The Bachelor for failing to create perfectly healthy relationships that stand the test of time every season, I ask you to take a look at your own romantic past. I implore you to watch at least one episode of Bachelor this upcoming season. I can't promise you'll like it, but I'm sure you'll be reminded of your own romantic experiences. And now, back to Gabrielle and Lydia.
Thanks for that, Avery. That was so interesting. Really made me think. Really.
Wise words of Avery this morning. We're going to toss it to a quick break, and we'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Gabrielle Valenson, co-host of the Bloomington Breakfast Club.
And I'm Bryce Reef, Creative Content Director for Indiana University Student TV. And if you enjoy the shows that we feature and want to get involved, then we've got great news for you.
IUSTV is always looking for motivated and talented individuals that want to help make the best shows possible. From sports and news to our morning and late night talk shows, we are looking for talent both in front of and behind the camera.
And if you don't have any experience, don't worry. We have professionals that will train you in gathering the skills you need to excel.
So if you ever wanted to work in the world of television, then email Bryce at breef@umail.iu.edu for getting involved with this great organization.
And please support IUSTV by subscribing to us on all social media platforms and our YouTube channel. We hope to hear from you soon, and go Hoosiers.
The 2018 Union Board election took place this past Thursday and Friday. Each year, students have the opportunity to elect 8 directors of the Indiana Memorial Union. Did you know that about $7 of student fees supports campus-wide programs put together by the Union Board?
And by voting for the 2018 Union Board, students commit to promoting meaningful events and programs around campus.
So it is only fitting that we have one of the 2017 directors here with us today to discuss all of the events she has successfully accomplished during her time as Campus Unity Director and how the Union Board has shaped her college career.
So welcome with us, CC Jerry, Campus Unity Union Board Director.
Thank you
Nice to have you
all.
here.
I'm happy
Oh
to
my
be
gosh,
here
of
this morning.
course. We're so happy. So talk to us about, being the director of Campus Unity, some of the things you put on, and why you think it's important for campus to have an organization.
Okay, so actually I started being involved with Union Board when I was a sophomore, and at first I just started as a committee member, and then I worked my way up to an assistant director of the same committee, and now I'm a director. So it's kind of, it's kind of cool to see like my transition and how I've been able to like evolve not only as a director, but somebody as like a resource for other people on campus. More specifically within my committee and in my board, just just to like give you all an idea of how old Union Board is, we're considered the 108th board. So Union Board is 108 years old. So that's something really special. You know, you're a part of such a great organization, and it has so much history behind it, so much meaningful history behind it. So I'm just, you know, grateful to be able to continue that tradition. More specifically within my committee, Campus Unity, what I like about it is it's so like ambiguous, and I get to do whatever I want as a director. So last semester we actually had an event entitled Dude, Where's My Funds? And we were able to collaborate with the Maurer School of Law, so students were able to get their taxes done for free, which is really important and something that students should be able to, like, you know, do on campus.
Right.
So I really like that. And also this past month in September, we had a beneficiary event in Dunn Meadow, and all the proceeds that we gained from that event went towards students affected by the hurricane in Houston. So that's just like some of the things we're able to do within my community as well.
Now, are these programs that you conceived yourself? Are they things that you have a board you do them all with? Explain the process kind of creating one of these big events.
Okay, so usually within a committee you're able to choose any kind of events you want. So we do have 12 different committees on the board, and we meet with our advisors, and those consist of either advisors that like work within the Indiana Memorial Union Board, or they're graduate assistants. So they're graduate students, and then they also are involved with Union Board. So you're able to get that like one-on-one interaction with them, and they give you ideas, but ultimately the decision that you make as a director is totally up to you. And that goes as far as like the budget, how much you want to spend for that certain event, and like how you want to program for it. So I definitely like that a lot. Yeah.
A lot of freedom. That's
Yep.
awesome.
Going back to raising money for hurricane relief, how did you guys do that?
It was honestly just a spur of the moment kind of thing. We saw that there was a need for students somewhere else, so we wanted to put on an event that would not only be beneficial for the students here, but also like bring awareness to other students affected in another state. So.
Now, this week you have the Vets Dinner Banquet coming up. Explain what that entails.
Okay, so my grandfather is actually a veteran. He fought in the Vietnam War, so that's something that's very close to me, and like I just wanted to do something different for students on campus. Usually we cater towards like student organizations and not so much maybe veterans that have served and they're either in a graduate program or they're studying right now. I think it's really important to recognize all students that make up the population on Indiana's campus, so I wanted to do something different.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like
love
that.
that. So you're a senior.
Yep.
And you're almost done with your time on the union board.
Yeah.
But you are running
Yes,
again?
I'm rerunning. Yes.
Okay.
So I'm doing a 5th year.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. So any other students that do choose to run, what is your advice for them?
My advice as a current union board director and somebody who has seen the board evolve for many years is just be true to yourself and make a commitment towards bettering the environment and the community that we have at Indiana University. I think one of the reasons why I chose going to school here was how Indiana University just like establishes diversity and inclusion, and I wanted to like really spearhead that whenever I was able to become a director, and here I am now. So my best advice is to just really, try to make a change, just, in any way possible. It's really important that you're just involved and you're able to interact with other people. So,
That's great.
And last question, what are some of your goals and aspirations beyond college?
So I'm looking to be a physical therapist after I complete my 5th year. So I'll be going to graduate school, and then also I'd like to travel with my degree as well. So
That's so
something I
great.
want to do in the future. Yeah.
Well, best of luck to you.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming on, and this was so
thank you all
nice.
for having me. This is
Telling
cool.
us a little bit more about you.
We loved hearing all about your events,
Yeah.
and hope they all go very well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Of course. And thanks for tuning in to our 8th episode of Season 2. Can't believe how fast the semester is going.
I know, it's
Kind of
unbelievable.
crazy. And be sure to follow us on all social media at B-Town Be Fast Club.
Check back in every Monday for all things Bloomington.
And if you're interested in joining our team, contact our executive producer, Bryce, at breef at indiana.edu.
We'll see you next week, Hoosiers.